Burrell's hole must be so tight you couldn't pull a pin from it with a John Deere tractor.
Burrell is easily the most despicable character on the show, at least to me. Most of the other bad characters have something, a code, a conscience, or at least a flicker of inner struggle.
After your phone call, I checked. It came directly from Burrell.
But Burrell? He's a pure careerist weasel. The sort of guy who'd sell out his own grandmother if it meant a slightly better parking spot at HQ.
Fucking Marlo, who's got bodies all over him.
Marlo may be a psychopath, sure, but he's upfront about it. He doesn't pretend to be a hero while quietly sabotaging everyone around him.
Instead of sitting on it and making cases off it, he wants us to write a paper and take the door.
Burrell, though, operates like a black hole at the center of the police department, sucking in resources, morale, and cases, just radiating negativity while pretending he's holding everything together. And on top of all that, he's just unpleasant. Not even charmingly evil.
Gentlemen, the word from on high is that felony rates district by district.
Just bureaucratically evil. So when Daniels finally stands up to him in season 1 and gives that sarcastic salute, absolute chef's kiss. Peak satisfaction.
It's a photo op to make us all feel better about Kima Greg's catching a bullet or two.
People sometimes defend Burrell by pointing to moments like him talking to Kima's girlfriend after the shooting. But come on, he only did that because his own boss refused to, and even then, he looked like he'd rather be anywhere else.
Burrell is done. He just killed himself.
Or they mention his big speech to Rawls when he gets pushed out. You mean the one where he whines about politics and dodges every ounce of responsibility for the mess he helped create? That one? Burrell is a terrible person who just happens to work in a system where he can't actually kill or torture people and get away with it. Drop him into the projects, and his true nature would be obvious immediately.
But top of the list, Irvin Burrell's ass is gone.
I like to imagine he maybe started like Carcetti, idealistic enough, wanting to do good, but the system ground him down until all that was left was ambition and self-protection. Even Rawls gets an occasional pang of morality. Burrell? Not so much.
So do it. Burrell juked them before you. Warren Frazier before him.
And that conversation he has with Rawls on the way out the door really nails the bigger problem. A system built to produce an endless conveyor belt of Burrells, each one shaped by political priorities that shift daily depending on which headline the mayor wants to dodge.
He and Burrell are as thick as thieves.
And do we know what the long con is?
Honestly, the same argument could be made for Senator Davis, but he delivers shit with such artistry that you can't help but like the guy.
Police let it slip cheese plate in on some talkies. Tried to pin a hit on him.
Halfway through season 3, and my wife and I have decided that nothing has topped Cheese getting hauled in over that phone call about his dog. That whole scene is pure comedy gold.
Let's the SPCA come around.
The miscommunication, the brass lining up to shake hands like they just cracked some major case, and then the look on everyone's face when Cheese casually tells them to call the SPCA. Absolute masterclass. I was doubled over. And honestly, nobody does drunk acting better than Dominic West. Back in season 2, when McNulty drunkenly plows his car into a bridge pillar, backs up, and does it again, that was easily the second funniest moment of the entire show for me. Season 3 has its gems too. Bernard and his girlfriend during the burner buying marathon.
I can't wait to go to jail.
What? What'd you say? What the fuck did you say?
Her yelling, "I can't wait to go to jail," and Bernard's panicked, "What? What you say?" cracks me up every time. Then there's Bubbles unintentionally flexing his nautical knowledge.
Stick that on that thing there, will you? The cleat? All the more not.
Jimmy tells him to tie the rope to that thing there, and Bubs is instantly like, "It's a cleat," and proceeds to knot it like a pro. 2 minutes after eyeing that guy's Weber grill like it was treasure. And some of the throwaway McNulty moments kill me. In season 1, episode 2, when he answers the phone half asleep and slips into the most British hello you've ever heard, like he literally forgot he was supposed to be American. Or later, when he has to fake a bad English accent during the hooker sting, which is somehow even funnier.
Where'd you get off?
And then the homeless serial killer call, where he leans all the way into a full Balmer accent.
Nice Balmer accent.
Hilariously dark perfection.
Here we lay a couple New York boys who came too far south for their own fucking good.
Speaking of dark humor, Chris and Snoop hunting down New Yorkers might take the crown for me. They're literally out shopping for people to kill, and it's played with this insane deadpan absurdity that makes the whole thing both horrifying and laugh out loud funny. The writing is unreal. Man, on this rewatch of The Wire, it finally hit me. Late in season 1, it was freaking Levy. Where are you weak? Yeah, that line hits different now.
Avon's cleaning the house all the way.
The man practically steered Avon into cleaning house.
Oh, by the way, your boy Wallace.
Wallace, the security guard woman, Lyle. Levy didn't pull the trigger, but he set the logic in motion and knew exactly what would happen.
No loose ends. I can understand the guard.
Dude basically put out a hit without ever stepping foot in the street. And somehow, he walks around with a body count as high as half the corner boys, just doing it all from behind a briefcase.
I'll be dragging me from the Levy family preserve on a Friday night.
Levy's like a shadow kingpin, playing both sides, collecting checks, and strolling home for Yvette's brisket like it's any other Tuesday.
You see this? It's the queen.
The contrast is wild. Chaos everywhere, but his life stays calm, comfortable, untouched. He's practically the arbiter of the game, sitting back while black and white pieces take each other out. And honestly, he's not even alone in that lane.
Clay Davis isn't going anywhere, is he?
Clay Davis stirred up enough corruption to get people killed too. Shit.
Andy Krajcek.
And Andy Krajcek? Sometimes I swear Andy Kraw might be the show's real final boss. In bed with traffickers, helping sink the union, wrecking blue-collar lives, maybe even screwing up the school budget. That man is chaos in a tailored suit. But Levy, yeah, Levy might be the darkest of them all. And the wildest part? He's technically part of the game. Getting people killed? Occupational hazard.
So Marlo walks.
Or you go to jail.
Meanwhile, Marlo is out here murdering whole families, and Levy's just rewriting the rules so the murder gets a plea deal. Then there's the Herc moment. Levy hands him Marlo's cell number like a gift basket, watches the wiretap spin millions for the firm, and praises him like he's employee of the month. He's not just good at his job, he's terrifyingly effective. Honestly, I can't even be mad. I'm impressed. Horrified, but impressed. All in the game, yo. Even the lawyers. Especially the lawyers. Honestly, the most satisfying confrontation in The Wire will always be Brianna realizing she basically signed her own son's death warrant in Season 3, Episode 8.
Why go to her? Why not come to me first?
Honestly?
That moment when she demands, why go to her? Why not come to me first? And McNulty just fires off the coldest line in the series. Honestly, I was looking for somebody who cared about the kid. I mean, like I said, you were the one who made him take the years, right? You're his father.
You ain't much more than a kid.
Nick didn't just drop a truth bomb on Frank later. He dropped a whole house on him. And Frank's actor sells it like his soul collapses on screen. People don't give The Wire enough credit for its acting, but that entire exchange is a masterclass.
Nobody would have dared.
Michael Hyatt, Brianna, goes through every stage of denial, regret, and heartbreak right across her face, trying to hold herself together while knowing she can't. It's brutal, but it's earned. And then there are the confrontations we never actually got.
I caught him, Bunk. On The Wire, I caught him.
Like McNulty grieving Stringer's death, moaning to Bunk, I caught him, Bunk, and he doesn't fucking know it. The pain in that line hits just as hard as any showdown the show did give us.
So it mattered.
So what the fuck does this have to do with collegiate?
Or Carver in the car, breaking down because he realizes he can't save Randy, and that everything he believed about doing good police work has been a lie. Seth Gilliam is phenomenal all series, but the Randy arc pushes him into a whole different gear.
Why can't you just make an exception in this case and move his name to the top of the list?
Same with that scene where he's pleading with the DSS worker to move Randy up the line. It's gut-wrenching because you can feel how powerless he is.
Everyone who saw the punch wrote on it.
And for a completely different flavor, there's always Prez decking Valchek. Not emotionally complex, just spiritually satisfying. The Wire is full of those moments where a character hits a wall. Sometimes another person, sometimes their own conscience. And the impact stays with you long after the episode ends. Honestly, I think The Wire nails its ending. Maybe not the single greatest finale in TV history, but absolutely a perfect capstone for the show. Sure, Season 5 isn't the strongest of the series, but that final montage ties every storyline together so beautifully.
I need to see Mr. Prespo.
I love the parallels it draws. Dookie and Bubbles, McNulty and Sidnor, and how it quietly reveals the real main character of the show, the city of Baltimore itself.
The courthouse.
That closing sequence makes it painfully clear that nothing truly changes. The game keeps spinning, and everyone just shifts into the roles left behind. And even with all that bleak truth, the emotional hits still land.
Line away, they call me Bubbles.
Bubs finally coming upstairs gets me every time. For me, it's a fantastic ending.
I'm a drug addict.
Even if a few other shows, 6 Feet Under, The Shield, Avatar The Last Airbender, might edge it out. But The Wire is definitely right near the top. Rewatching Season 1, Episode 11, I'm reminded how good Rawls can be when he actually decides to do the job.
You're in command for the city, right?
Major Rawls, homicide.
The moment he steps onto the scene, immediately taking command, reading the direction the suspects ran, catching the street sign mix-up, it's just pure competence. I'm not exactly a Rawls fan given, well, everything else he does throughout the series.
Hey, he's natural police.
But scenes like this really show he's got real natural police in him. And the man has a way with words. His Comstat tirades are high art profanity.
When I look at the 24s and plainly see that some 38 caliber asshole is raping your entire district.
Some .38 caliber asshole is fucking your whole district is iconic. People say Rawls rose through the ranks just because he played ball. And sure, he's absolutely a sycophant. But plenty of people play ball. Rawls got where he did because he was the most competent sycophant in the building. And his best moments? Honestly, it's a toss-up.
Either pay your respects or get your head back into this case.
There's the scene where he pulls McNulty aside after Kima gets shot, telling him straight up it wasn't his fault, that he needed to get his head on straight and get back to work. Pure leadership. Then there's, hey, fuck your money, when he tells the feds off. Both moments show a version of Rawls who actually backs his people when it counts and knows exactly how to handle a crisis. That's why Rawls being a good cop is so important to what he represents. The show constantly presents capable people with a choice. Stand up for the public or stand up for the institution and your place within it. Rawls commits fully, tragically, to the latter. And that's what makes those rare, genuine moments of leadership hit even harder. I've always had complicated feelings about Bodie. Honestly, I never liked him much in the beginning.
Who gonna know? Little man, he know thing. Aye.
That was Stringer Bell?
And after what he and Poot did to Wallace, I outright hated him. That scene was brutal, and it stuck with me for a long time. But as the show went on, especially once the Stanfield crew came in, he started to grow on me.
This motherfucker be killing niggas just to do it. You see?
He showed real remorse after Wallace, and you could see him getting sick of the killing almost immediately. Bit by bit, I found myself liking him more. He's such a perfect example of being a product of the game. Flawed like everyone else on the show, but his character development was genuinely top tier, right up there with Carver and Prez. By the later seasons, I'd sometimes forget he was the one who killed Wallace.
Sorry about Bodie.
And still, his death was one of the most tragic in the show for me, maybe second only to Wallace's. And again, he killed Wallace.
Yo, Bodie,
That's the power of the writing. Man, what a show.
This game is rigged, man. We like them little bitches on the chessboard.
I always think of Bodie and Wallace as the story of the pawns. One taken off the board early, the other pushed a bit farther, but inevitably doomed. Bodie was facing two bishops lined up diagonally, and the knight still got him with that L-shaped move. Even in the scene where he dies, he's firing at Chris and Snoop on a 45-degree angle, the exact way pawns attack.
You a soldier, huh? Chill, Bodie, man. Chill, man.
He was a soldier from day one, a pawn all the way through. It goes right back to that season 1 scene where D'Angelo explains chess, and Bodie asks, "So if I get to the other side, I'm king?" And Dee just tells him, "Nah, the game don't work like that." One of my favorite moments is when Dennis talks about his older brother, and for just a second, Bodie turns into this vulnerable kid who clearly idolized him. Another life swallowed by the game. He asks about him with this tiny spark of innocence, and then instantly packs it all away again, like he can't afford to let himself feel it. That's the kind of layered writing that made me love Bodie as a character, even when I hated the things he did. And as awful as that Wallace scene is, it's hard to lay all the blame on Bodie.
Send a message to the Jets, they said. Wireless.
He and Poot were ordered to do it by Stringer. What were they supposed to do? Say no? In their world, refusing an order isn't a real option.
Do it, goddammit, if you're gonna...
You can see Bodie's hands shaking, see him trying to warn Wallace in that sad, "You shouldn't have come back" line. He doesn't even fire until Poot, who shows zero hesitation, yells at him to pull the trigger. That's the tragedy of Bodie, a pawn who fought all the way to the end, but the game never once gave him a real way out. If we're talking spray paint, then yeah. Taggers will buy that stuff off the street long before they haul themselves to some big box store. Boosters boost, Bubbles buys. A shoplifter lifts the cans for nothing, flips them to Bubs for pocket change, and he turns around and sells them at a markup, wrapped in pure convenience.
Buy for $1, sell for $2.
Buy for $1, sell for $2. Or $2, as the prophets say.
Get in the car.
Really though, it's just classic random street inventory. Addicts will sell anything that isn't nailed down, and in the neighborhoods Bubbles is working, folks are happy to grab whatever's cheap and useful. Him rolling up saves them a trip. No leaving the corner, no paying a kid to run to the store, no questions asked.
That's $9 for 2, 10 for 3.
The whole point of the scene is to show that Bubbles actually has business instincts. He's trying to build something steadier than the usual day-to-day hustle. If only he'd stocked crab chips and a Snapple or two.
Yo, Bubbles! What's the game?
He could have had the game by the ass, man. If you like breakdowns like this, hit subscribe for more wire logic, street economics, and character deep dives.